again. Sorry. Sorry, it's because I can't seem to move my next. All right, so we've been able to see what AI is and what AI does. So let's quickly look at IT infrastructure. What is IT infrastructure? Don't forget, we have seen what AI is, and what we're saying is that AI is just having machine that does what that replicates what we do every time, which revolves around thinking, around perception, around decision making. So that's what AI does. And I've given an example of me running, for instance, maybe I'm trying to deploy an application and having spin on my containers, and I realize that one of the containers is exiting on the server, or the container itself is exiting on the server, and I'm trying to understand what exactly is happening, and I'm going into the container logs to check for what the problem is so that I can resolve the problem. Now, the same thing that an AI can do for me as well. For instance, if I take the container logs, right, if I take the container ID, and I run a Docker logs with the container ID, what happens? It gives me the entire, it gives me what is inside the container, right? Now, for instance, an AI as well could also help me interpret what is inside that container and, show me, what is the possible solution out of it. So that's exactly what we're saying, trying to replicate the same thing that the human intelligence does. Now we're seeing what AI is. Now, what is IT infrastructure? IT infrastructure refers to the physical and virtual components that support the operation of an organization's information technology system. Now, an organization have an IT system that comprises of a whole lot of things, right? You walk into an organization have an IT system. The IT system comprises, like I said, of a lot of things: the computer system, your router, quite a lot of things. Your printer comprises of a lot of things. So IT infrastructure is not just limited to maybe cloud, for instance. No, IT infrastructure is not just limited to your normal on-premise infrastructure. No, your IT infrastructure is not just limited to your data centers. No, your IT infrastructure encompasses of both the physical and the virtual components that supports the operation of those IT systems. That's what an IT infrastructure is. Now, so remember we said that refers to the physical and virtual components. Now, let's look at these physical components. So we could also know them. For some of us that may not know them, and then we need to also know them. Now, what are the physical components? When we talk about that, it's actually the combination of the physical component and the virtual component that supports the operation of the entire IT infrastructure system, right? So what is physical component? Now, hardware. Let's look at the hardware. Hardware is obviously the part of the physical component. And under the hardware, we have our servers, we have our storage systems, we have our network devices, which you have the routers, the switches, the firewall, your desktop, your laptop, your mobile devices, your printers and scanners, right? All of these things are also parts of what makes up an IT infrastructure, right? Now, these are part of what makes up. This is what, like I said, we're breaking it down into the physical component and the virtual component. Now, under the physical component, these are the things that make up for the physical component, which is also what makes up for the IT infrastructure as well. Now, data centers, your server room, your data warehouses, your cloud data centers, right? Now, these data centers also come under your what? Or yeah, under your physical component as well. Because when we say physical component, I'm sure we understand physical components, the component we can see and can touch. That these are some of the things that make up of more of our physical components. So our data centers, our server rooms, our data warehouses, our cloud data centers. Now, then also part of what makes up for our physical components is also our local area network, our wide area network, the wireless network, and then also our internet and connectivity. Let's move ahead as well. Now, for the virtual components, don't forget we said that what makes up for your IT infrastructure has to do with both the physical components and the virtual components, right, of the entire IT infrastructure. Now, when we talk about the virtual component, we talk about things like the software, your operating system, your productivity applications, your custom applications, your database management systems. These are the things that makes up for the virtual components. Then your infrastructure as a service, the platform as a service, and then your software as a service. These are the things that make up for what the virtual components. Now, let's now talk briefly on how AI revolutionizing IT infrastructure and all that. So just talk briefly on that. Then I will have another speaker moving as well. Now, artificial intelligence is revolutionizing IT infrastructure by improving efficiency, enhancing security, and predicting maintenance. Don't forget, we said that AI, what exactly is AI doing? AI is doing what I want to do. I mean, if you all remember, several years ago, um, several years ago, you know, there was a huge demand for front-end developers, because then a lot of people, we had a huge demand for front-end developers. So we had quite a lot of people that were moving to front-end development as a career then, right? So people were building websites and all of that, but as it stands today, to the best of my understanding, you may not necessarily need a front-end developer, at least to be able to get you a website done. There are some AI platforms that can do what that can help you build a website as fast as possible, right? Now, this is AI doing what I could have done, right? So now this same AI now is also bringing quite a lot of changes in IT infrastructure. Why? Because, for instance, now, the same way AI platforms are building websites, right? What exactly have those things done? It has also improved efficiency, right? And efficiency is about doing quite a lot of things within the shortest period of time. So, me perhaps would take me maybe like some 2, 3, 4 days to be able to build a website, but there's an artificial intelligence that can build that website in maybe 30 minutes, for instance, 1 hour, 2 hours, right? That means it can actually build quite a lot of websites within the shortest period of time. So that's what we mean by efficiency. Then also enhancing security. And why? Because and predicting maintenance. Because why? It has the ability to predict, has the ability to be able to make predictions, right? Based on the configuration and how it's set up. So it has the ability to be able to do what? Make predictions. So now artificial intelligence is also doing the same thing that artificial intelligence has done, for instance, for front end web developers and quite a lot of other things move all around like that. Okay, for instance, at least before now, when there was no Canva and all these platforms where people could just design things. Before now, people would go now. If you take for instance now, you realize that people who are doing printing job, they are almost out of business. Why? Because why? Artificial intelligence has taken over what they are doing and can even do it better. So it's the same way artificial intelligence is revolutionizing IT infrastructure. And not just that, as much as it's revolutionizing IT infrastructure, it's also improving efficiency. It's also ensuring that proper security measures are being put in place and has the predictive ability, to be able to get it done. So benefits of this: improved efficiency, automated task, reducing downtime, enhanced security, anomaly detection, threat prevention, predictive maintenance, reduced outages, improved uptime, personalized user experience, tailored support, improved engagement, cost savings, as reduce manual labor, optimize resources. Now, these are some of the benefits that we're talking about, which were part of the things I mentioned in the course of the previous slide. Now, improved efficiency. There is because you can automate tasks. Automating task helps you to do what? Do one of the things it does is that it helps you to be able to do what? Reduce downtime. It reduces downtime. Just like I said, there's an AI platform that can help me build websites. Perhaps maybe can help me build 5 websites within the shortest period of time. I mean, it reduces downtime for me rather than giving it to someone who would, take lots of days and will have to quarrel over it, in order for the person to get the job done and all that. So, but then I can leverage on an AI platform to get all of these things done, right? So that's what we mean by improving efficiency, being able to do quite a lot of things within the shortest period of time. So being able to automate your task, right, which is what AI gives you, automating your task. It helps you to be able to reduce downtime. So then we'll talk about enhanced security, being able to detect threats, right? Being able to detect threats and then prevent them. Then we also talked about predictive maintenance, being able to improve uptime, reducing outages, then cost saving, reducing manual labor and then optimizing resources. So at this point I'm going to stop so that I'll allow so I'll be able to have an external speaker to be able to come and continue on this topic. Remember what I said was that I'm just going to create, just going to set the ball rolling by just talking about what AI is, refreshing our memory what AI is, refreshing our memories on what artificial intelligence is. Then our external speaker will dive deep into integrating AI into IT infrastructure. Thank you very much, everyone. So I do not know if we have questions at this point before we can usher in external speaker. Mr. Samuel, are you there? Can anyone hear me, please?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Harriet, can you hear me?
Hello, sir, I can hear you now.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so like I said, um I've spoken on AI, I've spoken on IT infrastructure. So like I said, I don't know if you do not have any questions. I think I would I'll put a stop to my presentation for now so that I can allow Mr. Henry come on board and take over. Thank you very much, everyone. So, Mr.
Thank you, sir.
Samuel, okay, if you can hear me, would you be introducing Mr. Henry to us? Okay, Mr. Henry, can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, sure, I can hear you.
Okay. Okay. All right. Once again, thank you very much, everyone. So, at this point, we're going to be having one of our external speakers. Um, he's going to be, he's going to be, he's going to be delving deep into, he's going to be delving deep into this particular topic, integrating AI into IT infrastructure. Mr. Henry is actually a lead DevOps engineer with the U Lesson Group, who has had experience span over 6 years in this particular industry. So he understands quite a whole lot about how the industry works and then how what AI is currently doing into the IT infrastructure. Thank you very much, Mr. Henry. It's good to have you on board, sir. So you can take over from here, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you very much. Can everybody hear me?
Very well, sir. I can hear you.
Okay, let me know if you can see my screen.
Yeah, I can see your screen, sir.
All right. Thank you very much once again. It's just going to be a brief presentation from me as I'll be off to meeting in a very short while. So my presentation will be on the future of AI in IT infrastructure and what to expect and how to prepare. So going forward, I'd like to start the presentation by looking at the role of AI in IT infrastructure, starting with key benefits, as it concerns today's infrastructure. So undoubtedly, AI is fundamentally changing how we manage IT infrastructure, by making operations more smart and more efficient. And we all know that traditionally, managing infrastructure normally, requires manual work like uh, tasks like manually scaling server, handling system failure, and optimizing, research resource utilization. So, but now, with AI, we can automate much of this. We can automate much of this and then invariably enhance efficiency. So, you know, um, for me personally, in the past, a normal, it's actually a normal thing for me to visit Stack Overflow every day. We have lots of tabs and screens open, digging through people's issues, trying to solve, trying to see what people, I'm a regular, visitor in Stack Overflow. I pick up solutions there, and then I also pick up some other people's questions there, you know, um, to answer. I ask and then I answer some questions there. I mean, every infrastructure person knows Stack Overflow, and once you search for any issues, this is just the normal way it has always been. you know. So for me, I believe I spend a good number of my time there, and anytime I experience system failures and anytime I encounter some strange issues. But with today with prompt AI, all of us knows ChatGPT and all those kind of things. All of us knows Bard or Gemini. You know, today the story has changed. So you just bump into there, kind of, you can dump your issues there and you get quick solutions there. So that is a very quick example all of us can easily relate to. So starting on the key benefits, we can take predictive maintenance, for example. Many of us here have integrated AWS DevOps Guru, which uses AI to monitor infrastructure, analyze operational data and predict issues even before they occur. So this proactive approach can go a very long way to prevent downtime by alerting DevOps team early or automatically resolving the issues. One AWS case study, for example, involved FanDuel. I think we all know FanDuel. So they organize there is a sport betting company that make use of AWS a lot, and they leverage AI heavily in their day-to-day activities. Not just AI, but machine learning tools to predict infrastructure needs and then prevent them before they even occur during major events like Super Bowl. So another use case is resource optimization. With AWS autoscaling and AI driven resource management, you can scale your infrastructure automatically based on traffic and demand. So I mean, could talk about more on this resource utilization. They kind of um, they kind of greatly integrate with our general output as an infrastructure engineers. So if you are able to perfectly scale and optimize your infrastructure, you kind of you're able to get a lot. You're able to get a lot out of it, and then make it cost effective and cost efficient. Then we'll now talk about uh, security. We can, of course, leave out security when we discuss about benefits of AI. So AWS has AI-driven security services, for example, maybe something like AWS Guard Duty, which automatically detects suspicious behavior and potential security threats in real time. It does that by analyzing network traffic and user activity patterns. Guard Duty can alert the administrators and even trigger automated security responses. So, for example, here at ULesson, we have a IDS and IPS system we designed completely from AWS Guard Duty. So we kind of wrote a Python application that picks data from AWS Guard Duty So, for example, some of our front-facing application, you try to SSH into our server, we get alerts, and then even before we even try to know what is going on, our script has already, picked up your IP address from AWS GuardDuty, and then it automatically blocks you from even doing anything within our environment. So you can see this is, some of the benefits we get from AI. So another thing I want to talk about is future trends, in the AI-driven IT infrastructure. So as we look into the future, AI in IT will bring even more transformative changes. Some of the key trends, definitely include predictive analytic and automation. So going on here, AI will definitely enable more sophisticated predictive analytics in infrastructure management. And then again, apart from AWS Code Guru, AWS DevOps Guru, which I explained earlier, we have many other tools that are springing up, and even existing tools that are leveraging AI to improve current practices. So for example, we all know the good old SonarQube. We all know the good old SonarQube, which is our legendary static code analysis tool. People integrate it a lot in CI/CD pipelines. So currently with SonarQube, you can now integrate SonarQube now integrate AI into many parts of their service delivery to improve application analysis and to make smarter automated remediations, if properly integrated. Also, the AWS DevOps Guru would definitely continue to evolve and allowing organizations to foresee issues such as resource exhaustion, server failure, or application bugs, etc. So we'll talk about people that uses these AI tools like in IT infrastructure. So, for example, we can't miss Netflix. Netflix is very, very heavy on AWS technology, and they also use they also heavily depend on solutions like this AWS DevOps Guru to carry out predictive maintenance and all that. Then another thing we can talk about is self-healing system. Self-healing system is also one of the major trends we have in IT infrastructure today. So in this kind of scenario, AI automatically fixes issues without the need of human intervention. So today, AWS Elastic Kubernetes service can self-heal by automatically replacing failed containers, ensuring the application remain available even if individual components fail. So here at ULS also we also heavy on AWS, and we have most of our application deployed in AWS container service and then AWS Kubernetes service. So most of our application are also self-healing as it concerns to this technology. But I know quite sure that in the future there'll be a lot of enhancement in this, because it's not 100%, it's not 100% seamless. It's not 100% seamless, but it works, and we use it. It works. So most of the time on the background, it kind of intelligently run health check, and then if, for example, that health check passes, it smoothly transition traffic into a healthy container, thereby gracefully shutting down an ailing container. And customer and front-facing users would not understand if the system even encountered any issue or not. Then again, we can also expect to see AI-driven security. So we know quite that AI will become even more central to security. So for today, we have services like AWS, Amazon Mercy, and then of course GuardDuty. GCP just expanded on Gemini capabilities like Code Assist and Code Guru. So these are intelligent and AI-driven code review tool So this time around, developers will just push code, and apart from running static analysis, you can also have a PR review. So instead of getting someone to review that code, you get AI to automatically run your code review, run virtually all the necessary analysis. And if there is, if you have used something like static code analysis tools like SonarQube, you know quite well that it does code review, but it's not really automated. It can even give you an instance of what you need to do, how you need to fix it, what you need to do to fix it, and some of the issues like code smells and all those kind of things that is associated with your code. So, but this time around, we expect that in the near future, we don't need humans to do that. We just need AI to. We're definitely sure that this time around, you just push your code and it reviews it, fix the bugs in your code, try to fix some of the vulnerabilities, and then move on. So this, of course, inadvertently uh, um, improves code release, making release cycles a lot faster and a lot easier. It also greatly reducing time to the market for, on the higher level management. So next step on the future trend I want to talk about is AI powered edge computing. We also expect to see more powerful edge computing as IoT, that is Internet of Things, continues to grow. So, for example, within the AWS ecosystem, we have the AWS Greengrass, which extend AI capabilities to edge devices, allowing them to process data locally and then closer to where they are generated. And then the most important thing is that it reduces latency and improves performance. And we can't deny that Internet of Things is gaining a lot of popularities. On my own side, I personally leverage on Internet of Things to automate a lot of things in my house. So even though I already have a family, but I don't go home these days asking them. I know we all, I mean, most of us here are Nigerians, and normal questions we usually ask people around is like, where, if, for example, if there's no light, we usually ask them, you usually ask, when was the last time they brought back the light, or, all those kind of questions and all that. So this time around, I leverage AI, and I don't even get to, with these inverter systems in my house, I don't even get to know when there's light and when there's no light. But I kind of, leverage artificial intelligence to learn the trends in the voltage system within my apartment. So it knows when the voltage is coming from NEPA. It knows when the voltage is coming from my inverter. So when the voltage is out, of course my inverter automatically switches to battery. But the AI knows that yes, this is not inverter. This is not NEPA. This is inverter. So it just sends alert to me. I just get in my smartwatch that okay, light is gone, and it gets to log all these things, and I get to know that this is what's going on. So, but what happens when I'm not in my house? How do I get real time? How do I get real time data? How do I get alert in the real time? So obviously there's be some latency because there's all AI has one server somewhere in the cloud. There will definitely. So we expect to see AI powered edge computing to make life easy and greatly reduce uh, uh, latency. So some of the challenges in adopting AI, um, um, we could see is data quality. So some of the challenges we're going to see in this ecosystem is data quality. So high quality data is crucial for effective decision making. And then we also have to talk about skill gap. Also have to talk about skill gap in today's right, yeah. So in today's technology, we have solutions springing up almost like every day we keep on getting solutions springing up, and then you keep on asking yourself, which one should I go for? Which one should I study? Which one should I learn? And then sometimes you encounter solutions that the learning curve is so steep that you have to do a complete overhaul of what you understand. So you tend to understand that skill gap in emerging technology is some of the challenges we are going to face in AI today. So, for example, a solution like ChatGPT is so simple that you just seem like you are chatting with a computer. But today we have prompt engineering coming up as a course, as a tool, as a course to study. So because when you just interfacing with AI, you just feel like, okay, I'll just say hello and it responds hi. You tell the AI this is my problem, and then you feel like, okay, it just responds. But there's more to it. There's more to it. Just knowing the right prompt means a lot. Just bouncing into ChatGPT and dropping a question and responding, because obviously quite thorough that just by playing with your articles, you are most likely going to get a different result from this AI system. So as simple as ChatGPT is, or Gemini is, you still need to really master it to be able to get a real solution out of it. Another challenge is cost implications. So these solutions are not cheap. They're not cheap, especially with our naira crashing virtually every day. A subscription that is like $20 per month. If we are to convert it to our currency, we are looking at 30 something thousand naira. And then these tools can go as high as thousands of dollars, per tool and per month. Of course, obviously, you hardly see solutions that gives you 1 year subscription these days. So mostly cost is a very big concern, especially as our currencies doesn't really compete favorably with the rest of the currency out there. And then in this place, lastly, we also have to talk about security concern. Security concern is a big issue, because most of the time these AI solutions are not usually open source, and what they do with the information you provide, the information you provide on the back end, we can't 100% say that, okay, our data is properly handled. They can also go for some good data governance, like compliance with, let's say, GDPR and all those kind of things, to say, okay, user data is properly following, let's say, data lifecycle, and everything is fine. But still, there's still security concern, privacy concern, and all that. So my personal advice is, going to use this AI tools, you try as much as possible to obfuscate your data as much as you can. So, for example, you might tend to, like, okay, I'm having a DB connection issue. You might be tempted to, let me just copy this the command I typed and everything, and then give it to AI to give me solution to that. So my advice would be, okay, if you are posting this kind of thing to AI, try as much as possible to either change the password to something else. You can even just put it password or username, but not the real thing. And then again, some of these AI, the definitely intelligent bots, they are not failure proof. They are not failure proof. So heavily dependence on them can cause serious damages. So we need to find a way to vet it, and then not 100% depend on it. So preparing for AI-driven infrastructure future. So I have to prepare for AI transformation. I think the era of AI is already here. There's no going back. Just like when the world was taken about what was taken over by virtualization. Virtualization came in as as early as far back as 2008. So it started gradually, and then today, without virtualization, in fact, if you say virtualization and you don't know anything about virtualization, I think somebody might even see you as someone that's living in the 90s. So the same thing is applicable with AI. It has come to stay and it's going to be definitely be a part of us. Trying to fight it or trying to find fault in it is just, you're just setting up yourself for failure. So we definitely need to prepare for it. So, and some of the things you can do to properly position yourself is to invest in skill development. That cannot be, overemphasized. Read about it, watch videos about it, take tutorials, use it, and interact with it, make it a part of you, and you know I would personally say don't subscribe to some archaic idea of saying that AI is has some devilish undertone to it. It doesn't. It basically doesn't. It's just a smarter way of computing. That's just it. So I would just advise to invest in skill development, take certifications, take exams, take courses, invest in it. You will definitely not regret it. Another part I would want to talk about is focus on data governance. Ensure high quality and secure and compliance data management. If you are currently heading a unit or have a stake or a say in any team you are, and you use this AI, also try to focus on data governance. Go for certifications, go for accreditation to ensure that the data you are dealing with is properly vetted and compliant with different security and data standards. And then again, adopt incremental AI solutions. So you can actually automate yourself out of business. So in this, just like every other growth, I would say make it incremental, make it gradual. Don't use AI in all stages of your service delivery. Don't use AI in all areas in your service delivery, because apart from the AI is definitely not here to take our jobs. It's definitely not here to take our jobs, but it's definitely here to also take part of our jobs. So what it simply means is that if it's taking a part of our job, it also means that we have more time on our hand. So let us not just look at it from the negative side. If you are less busy, it also simply means that you have more time on your hand. And what you do with that time, I think you can also make reference to the first point I made here, which is you can also use that much time you bought to invest in yourself. Learn AI stuff, learn MLOps, data AI data training, and all those kind of things. Invest in yourself. But but I would also advise to adopt incremental AI solutions. So, for example, I consult for a firm whereby one of the managers reached out to me and he said, Henry, the CEO is telling me that he have this notion of you that you are basically doing nothing. That's what I was told. So I laughed and I told him that's actually a compliment. That's really a compliment. I take that as a, because if you see me that I was busy, it simply means I wasn't really doing anything. So the CEO or probably the management simply see that I'm not doing anything because the system is stable. before even an issue occurs, I've already seen it and I've already resolved it. So if, for example, the system is like, for example, what we had in Zenith Bank a couple of days ago, everybody is running helter-skelter fixing this. Of course, the management will see me that, yes, I'm very, very busy, but I heavily leverage automation process and AI into the infrastructure in such a way that, of course, I mentioned earlier that they self-heal, and I kind of, we have log analytics tool that we implemented here and there. So before issues occur, it have already been resolved. And then we also have AI-driven auto scaling system put in place. For example, if you are very conversant with systems like Kubernetes, you know, in AWS environment, you know that we have a cluster autoscaler, and then we also have a very high level autoscaling tool like Carpenter. So we ditched the AWS cluster autoscaler for Carpenter, and what that means is that not just that the system autoscale, but the system autoscale smarter. The autoscaling is a lot smarter, and when it's a lot smarter, you get a smooth operation, and then you get a lot of cost benefit, because you could set up a lot of tools, you could set up a lot of configuration here to take care of a lot of things, but at the end of the day, there is always lapses in those configurations. So lastly, I would want to talk on the preparing for AI-driven infrastructure. I would want to talk about collaborating with experts. So join webinars, join meetups like you all are doing already. So I like to, even if I'm not a guest speaker, even if I'm not a speaker, I like to go for meetups. So because when you rub minds, you tend to see where you are lacking, and then you easily make up. And then it's also a fast-paced environment. So if you are working in silo, you might not know when you are already overrun, and you're already outdated in the system. So you must collaborate with other experts within the ecosystem. So summarily, I would say AI is rapidly evolving, and then it's of benefits, which include predictive maintenance, resource optimization, and then enhanced security and reliability. And then we know future trends will definitely include predictive analysis, health healing system, and then AI-powered edge computing. And then a couple of challenges I talked about include the skill gap, cost, and security concerns. And then, to prepare for AI-driven future, we have to heavily invest on skill development. You must develop yourself. You focus on data governance to ensure that you are compliant, and then you also collaborate with other experts in the community to properly stay up to date with the happenings. So I think that would be all from me from this presentation. So if you have any questions, just kindly ask a word. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Henry. Thank you so much for the very exclusive and very insightful journey into understanding how AI is being integrated into IT infrastructure. Thank you so much, sir. Please, do we have any question? Do we have any question, please? Do you have any question revolving around what he has said or what I said?
Right. Thank you very much, Henry. Thank you for that fantastic presentation. You just carry me. You just carry me, and I'm completely kind of lost, right? In this AI revolution, are we going to see it? Should we see it as an opportunity for techies like us an opportunity or a threat to us?
Thank you very much for that question. If you remember, I gave one example about how my manager said that he sees it that I'm practically doing nothing. So, and that is heavily because that's majorly because I leverage AI in our infrastructure, and then so it's like the infrastructure is self-aware, taking care of itself, and then all those kind of stuff. So, but it takes a skilled person to be able to set up such system. And then when all chips are down, it also takes a skilled person to troubleshoot it. So that's what I'm saying. It's not a threat. It's actually here to help. It's not a threat in any way. It becomes a threat when you fail to. It becomes a threat when you fail to skill up. If you fail to skill up, it becomes a very big threat because remember, people that set up Stack Overflow didn't know it's going to come up. If Stack Overflow has a stock, I will tell you their stock is definitely down. Their stock is definitely down because before I used to be in Stack Overflow virtually every day. I was opening multiple screens, multiple tabs, trying to solve one problem or other. But today, if I encounter strange error message, I just remove some vital information, post it there on ChatGPT, or and then it just quickly solves. It just quickly tells me, and then it gives me personalized issues tailored to exactly that very environment I'm talking about. So that means it saves me time. So when it saves me time, what do I do with that time? That's exactly what matters. What do I do with that time? So when it buys you that time, use that time to skill yourself up. There's a lot to do. For a skilled person, you cannot be out of job. It cannot be a threat. It's not a threat because at the end of the day, you still need a skilled person to set up a smart system. It doesn't take a non-skilled person to set up a smart system, no matter how it is. If we are given the same problem, for example, and then you head over to ChatGPT, and then I also head over to ChatGPT, your output and my output will not be the same, even though we use the same tool. So that's why I'm saying I can't overemphasize skilling yourself up. Skill up, be ready because opportunities abound. Opportunities abound. It's not a threat in any way. It is not a threat in any way. It's here to make our life. It's here to make our life easy. It's just like someone saying that a car is a threat to people that push wheelbarrow. It's not a threat. It's not a threat. It's not left for you to jump in the game and ride the tide. It's not a threat. Thank you. Do you have any other question?
Thank you very much, sir. Any other question, please? Do you have any other question? All right, safe to say.
Thank you. I didn't know I was muted. Thank you, Henry. Earlier, sorry, I wanted to say that I was deeply engaged to your presentation. So
thank you very
I focus on the content that I completely lost track of myself. Basically, that's what I wanted to say. Because it's an interesting topic, right? In fact, AI has taken the center stage. If you don't move with a train, of course, you'll be left behind. And thank you for gracing our event. I know it's very difficult to find somebody like you, but I decided to bring you down here, and it's my pleasure. I'm so happy to see you here today, Henry. Thank you for honoring our invitation.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir.
Sorry, is there any other person that has a question for Henry, James, any of the speaker? All right, just a quick one. I am going to, please, we didn't even have time to make a connection on this call, right? I'm going to drop his LinkedIn profile. You can follow him. He's an experienced DevOps engineer. He's a techie person. You can follow him. You're going to learn a lot, right? And you can also drop your, if you want us to follow you, everyone on this call, I mean everyone on this call, if you want us to follow you, if you want us to connect with you on social media, whichever platform you are using, whether it's LinkedIn or Twitter or Facebook, you can drop your profile so that we can give you a follow, so that we get connected, we make friends. Coming. So you can drop it in the chat box. So if you want to follow Henry, this is his LinkedIn profile. Right, and this is mine. Thank you everyone for showing up. It's only James. Okay, thank you, Harriet. All right, thank you everyone for joining today. See you again some other time.